Women who don't want to date a broke man are not gold diggers. They're peace seekers.
That means she want me to leave my husband, bring my kids, and beg for her to be in my life again.
Told by my mother that he wanted me aborted, that he never fought for me. With all the hell that he went through to even get a sliver to be a part of my life, you know?
Reach out to my dad. We spoke. I never want to lose this relationship again.
Hey guys, welcome back to More to Life. Now, before I get into this video, I ask that you like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get on my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get right into this.
Women who don't want to date a broke man are not gold diggers. They're peace seekers. Dating a broke man is anything but peaceful. If a man feels like he's not where he wants to be in life, or he feels inferior to his peers or his partner, he is always stressed and irritated and mean. He might even try to belittle you because he wants to bring you down to his level. A broke man is unreliable. He's unhappy, and you'll find yourself always trying to lift his spirits and overcompensating to show how much you support him. It's draining. It's emotionally draining. A broke man is hard to respect because he doesn't respect himself. A broke man really has no business dating because he has yet to fully be able to take care of himself and support himself. So he won't be able to show up and fully support you as a partner. You don't want a broke man to prioritize you before he prioritizes his own life, because eventually he will resent you as he watches you move forward in life, as he fades into the background as one of your supporters. If you become his life, he forgets who he is, and a man with no purpose or identity of his own is either very depressed or a dangerous man, or both, which is a horrible combination. He could become controlling and manipulative. Your relationship becomes the one place where he feels like he's on top, and you don't want to be in that situation. It's the breeding ground for verbal and physical abuse, just to make sure you don't get too out of reach of him. So no, choosing not to date a broke man is not just about money and material things and status. It's about preferring to date someone with drive, purpose, and confidence, with a clear plan and direction in life, who's proven that he is resourceful and stable. So no, women who won't date a broke man are not gold diggers. They're just looking for peace.
No, not nowadays. Women are looking for a come up because they're broke. It's actually the opposite, right? I'll tell you like this. Say if a woman has a job and she gets her paycheck, and then she's broke again after she gets a paycheck. She's broke. So then I feel why you feel it makes no sense, because a broke woman living with a broke man, it kind of defeats the purpose. But then again, say a broke woman living with a broke man with the purpose. There's so many ways we can pull this. And we can plan it out. But you guys understand, women all want somebody to make their life easier because I say because they usually want that bread. Gold diggers.
Oh, she's a gold digger. Way over town.
Talk about signs that you're dating a broke guy. I base these on my own experiences dating at now 57 years old. And I want to assure you that this does not mean, ladies, that this is setting a boundary, that you cannot afford to financially bail a man out who is so financially unwell that no matter how big the shovel is that you brought to the relationship, you would never be able to dig him out. So just get out. One of the flags that I see is men who want to move in with me. It's like, it's too soon, dude. We just barely met and got this relationship off the ground. So let's detour for a moment on that and talk about the trajectory of how this will go. He shows up with a suitcase and moves into your bedroom and sleeps in your bed. Each month when rent or the mortgage is due, he comes up with a convenient excuse as to why he can't pay his portion. Here's another sign. You're always picking up the tab. Road trips are on your credit card. Dinner is on you. I asked a guy I'd been dating for quite some time, hey, this is a lot of money. Road trips, dinners. You know what he said to me? Oh, I thought you enjoyed paying. They can't carry on a conversation that we should be able to carry on in our 50s about, potential retirement plans. Why? Because they don't have one. So retirement is either out of reach or totally not even on their radar. Another red flag, pay attention to conversations when you get with friend groups or with family. Somebody in the friend group's like, hey, Jack, you still owe me $500. I've been begging you for that money for a year. That's not his friend being a jerk. That's your guy being broke. So even if you were financially stable enough to bail him out of one bad situation, you're going to start peeling back the layers and you're going to find a bottomless pit of financial troubles that you cannot afford to take on. When somebody has lived a life of bad financial choices, they're not fixable. Run.
One thing she said she's 57, so either you were divorced or never had a husband, because why are you still ending up with broke men? Men should be well established by that age. You're picking the wrong guys. Oh, that's the only guys that's picking you. I get it.
On this clip, I really want you to run this clip.
Any drugs?
I want, because it's smaller, I would say.
Drug deal.
That's very stereotypical.
It is very stereotypical stuff.
Why did you shoot to drug deal first? But why? Why did you shoot to a corporate deal? Why did you shoot? Why did you shoot to drug deal?
It's banter.
It's not. No, wait. Hold on. I'm in a bow tie, I'm in a pink shirt, and you spoke about drug deals.
If you know the personality.
No, but why did you go to that? Why was that your?
Because it was funny and it made you all laugh. He cracked.
No, that was no.
Okay, as the workers.
No, keep this in. Why did you do that?
Because it was dark.
What was dark?
I couldn't see you. Yeah?
Do you realise what you're doing? Hey, get this camera on her. Get this camera on her.
Whenever you sell drugs, you sell it at night time.
Sell drugs
in the dark.
I think you've been on this. I just find it interesting.
About race, it was a racist.
I didn't say anything. Wow, why are we bringing up race into this?
Because I feel like that's how you're taking it.
No, you're doing victim mentality. You know what this is? This is the white female complex. Like, you're bringing race into things. I've not spoken about race.
So why did you take it offensive then?
Because you spoke about drug deals when I'm in a shirt and bow tie and a award show.
Because it was banter.
These gentlemen here interviewing me, they asked me earlier on, can they do it? There's some young men and I really want to help them with the content, right? This woman has come into and made a joke about drugs.
Was banter.
But it's not banter.
It was when you walked into the conversation.
Yeah, so my thing is this. It's just an example of how they see us. Okay, unless you want to talk about race, no one has spoke about race.
I've got a role model academy. I have a life coaching practice.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Where I change people's lives.
Shame is one of the 4 major arrows of a low-value woman.
Who takes drugs?
Darling.
That's what I do for a living.
Respectfully.
I help people,
okay.
the youth, live their spirit.
Okay. She showed her true self. And I'll tell you how. Anybody can identify that. Watch that clip. She's drunk. So she's drunk. She's showing her true self. And her true self is a racist white woman. Sad but true.
So I wanted to address this comment. Do you still talk to your mom? Because I've gotten a lot of variations of this comment. Short answer, no. I don't talk to my mom at all. I went no contact with her back in 2013. So a year prior was my last straw. It was on 4th of July. Things were really rough at home, and we were at a friend's house celebrating 4th of July, and I decided I wanted to stay there for a little bit just for things at home to cool down. My mom wasn't having it. She went inside to grab all my stuff. She came back out. She goes, let's go. I said no. So we're tugging back and forth on my stuff. My stepdad picks me up and body slams me into the concrete and starts dragging me by my stuff. He eventually lets go. I called the police, and I got very close to having them arrested for domestic violence. I ended up telling the cops, no, I just want them to leave. So I ended up staying gone for about 2 months, and then the situation I was in where I was staying wasn't great, so I unfortunately had to go back home. And then that's when I met my now husband. And so a couple months into 2013, things got really, really bad to the point where I had to run away. I couldn't take it anymore. I ran away with my husband, my now husband. We've been together for almost 13 years now. And so after that point, I've been no contact. She's missed my wedding. She's missed all 3 of my kids' birth, their games, their school, everything she's missed. And I made sure of it because she is an undiagnosed narcissist. And when I was pregnant with my first, it was a very traumatic birth, emergency C-section. And I had a friend of mine that was a friend of hers as well, a family friend. And I was like, at any point, if any point in my life that I needed my mom is when I was giving birth, when I was in labor. And she had told my mom, hey, Taylor really needed you. And at that moment she told her, well, if she even would have asked me, I wouldn't have even gone. I would only allow her back in my life if she had kids in tow on my front porch begging for me to come back. That means she want me to leave my husband, bring my kids, and beg for her to be in my life again.
You can't make this shit up.
So at that point on, absolutely no contact. I'm not making any kind of effort to have a relationship with her. It's not worth my peace.
Dad, why didn't you fight harder for me? Didn't I matter to you? Yeah, those were my words at 17 to my dad after my aunt gave me his phone number. To get his side of the story, I had been told by my mother that he wanted me aborted, that he never fought for me. He only called when it was about child support, etc., etc. Years of all this. To finally hear him out and find out that was all a lie. My mom lied. Why would my mom lie about this stuff? He did fight. He worked 3 jobs to support him and my stepmom, and they had a little girl, so my sister, and he struggled. He spent thousands of dollars going back and forth in the family court system to try to get some kind of custody of me. And then at age 10, he was pinned into a corner to give up his rights for me because he couldn't take it anymore. My mom had pushed him that far that he could not take it anymore, that he gave me up to my abusive stepfather. And it hasn't been till now that I've been advocating for fathers' rights and 50-50 share parenting for the last 10 years to realize and remember I asked him that question, why didn't you fight harder? How hard and how hurtful that question had to be for him. With all the hell that he went through to even get a sliver to be a part of my life, That question had to hurt. He fought as hard as he could. Spent thousands of dollars.
It happens to a lot of guys. And from the behaviors she said about her mom, that's something a narcissist would do. And the wild thing is, she turned out pretty okay, but women end up a lot of times being for the streets when their father's not around. Maybe she was. She didn't go deep into that part of herself, but maybe she was. Maybe she is. Like, I don't know. I don't know who she is. But still, that right there, it damages kids. And she said it. She asked her father, why didn't you fight for me? He tried. When a man tries, he can try but so hard. Because if a woman acts the way her mother acts, you see the way that her mother fought with her, the stepfather kicked her out, that behavior the mother's showing it's crazy. The mother is off her rocker, and she's one of those by any means necessary types. I will get my way, like a narcissist would.
How I describe it, it's as if my alienating parent was an onion and the layers were falling off for periods of years, probably 5 years, maybe longer. The layers were falling off and I was learning more and more about the true person inside. But the parental alienation part, it was a very sudden realization for me. It was super traumatic, kind of happened all at once. I did reach out to my dad. We spoke, and there was never a protracted period of reconnection and withdrawal for me. In my case, it has been reconnection, kind of like I never want to lose this relationship again. I will do anything to keep this relationship moving forward and rebuilding what we lost. But my dad has really welcomed me back. He hasn't held my actions over the years against me. He doesn't even hold any resentment towards me, and he actively wants a relationship with me, my husband, my kids, my family. So he has made it really easy for me to want to work for a relationship together. And that's what I've always wanted. I just didn't think it was possible until I discovered parental alienation.
This video is currently going viral all over TikTok with over 21 million views just because her dad always goes in her room to hug her for a good period of time and leaves right after. Let's talk about it, since there's a lot of controversy regarding this video. So basically, I don't see a single problem with this whatsoever, and let me explain why. For those who see a problem with this video, the reason being is because you never had a loving father. A lot of people in this generation, or a lot of people in the 2000 generation, are fatherless right now. Your daddy went to go get milk and never came back at all. So you don't know the affection side a dad should give to his kids, most definitely his daughter. And I can see where you guys are coming from, because if my pops came laying up on me like that, tweak out. You feel me? Although I don't got that in my life. Like I'm saying, we are all fatherless, bro. All jokes aside, I don't see my moms randomly coming in my room and giving me a hug for a long time. If that were to happen, I would think that something gonna go down. Even people under this video are literally not being weird about it. So for those who are being weird or is trying to say weird things, don't be mad, because her dad loves her, bro. There shouldn't really be any controversy regarding this video, because there is no harm that is being done. There is nothing weird that is happening. It's just a dad loving on his little girl. Y'all go ahead and calm down and let me know what y'all think.
That kind of love, right? That kind of love will keep his daughter off OF. That kind of love will keep his daughter off the pole. Yes, she knows. She turns to the streets for too long, or just a little bit sometimes. The dad's going to be brokenhearted, because that's how a man really... Let me break it down for y'all. You see how this boy said he doesn't get that kind of love from his mother? No offense, no offense, no offense. But guys are the true romantics. It's true. Men are. Think about it. Men love women no matter what they have. So who's the true romantics? And who is being a true romantic? All nationalists aside, with their daughters. Fathers like that, because daughters need it. Look at her. She loves it. Look at her reaction. She loves that her dad does that. And I don't think he should stop.
Large-scale oppression of women wouldn't be possible without the complicity of the men around us. If the men in your life truly had your best interests at heart, they would be outraged by the things that happen to women and have happened to women. It's not just the minority of misogynistic men who cause this, it's the silent and indifferent men that continue to let it happen. A man who had your best interests at heart would stand up for your rights, speak out against injustice, and hold other men accountable. Imagine how different things would be if men used their voice to hold others accountable, to speak out against misogyny, to challenge their own bias and their own privilege. It wouldn't feel like such an uphill battle for women to win this never-ending war of oppression.
Man, if another woman does this, if any man goes around speaking up for feminism, he's a woman. Seriously. I'm going to come out and say it front and center. Listen, guys that do that are seen as soft pudding pops. Guys don't respect them. So don't tell men to do something to where other men won't respect them. Like, that's what these women are doing. And then you're not going to give them some. You'll give all of the guys who aren't doing that some, except for him. It's crazy.
So guys, over the last couple of weeks, I decided to join Hinge. And let me tell you, it was definitely an experience. So I decided to join Hinge as a bit of an experiment, right? I wanted to explore a few things. One of them being tapping into my feminine energy and trying to always not be the one in control. Like, if any of this resonates, let me know. But when I say it was an experience, it was definitely an experience. So here are a few things I've learned. And I also wanted to practice rotational dating, talking to multiple people without the pressure of wanting something serious, right? I thought, let me give it a go. So I figured I'll just be open to getting to know people and see where things lead.
I gotta stop it. First she said tap into her feminine energy. Then she said experiment with dating multiple people. You're never gonna find a man. I gotta be real. Tap into, and you're doing it on Hinge.
I thought, let me give it a go. So I figured I'll just be open to getting to know people and see where things lead. And guys, here's what I noticed, yeah. Some guys will claim they're looking for a relationship, and as soon as they see that I'm not actively seeking one, their tune changes. And when I say changes, I mean suddenly they're never really sure what they want. And it's wild because I think if I was looking for something serious with someone that isn't, why would I suggest meeting up? But even in those instances, they'll suggest meeting up, wanting to feel a vibe and whatever the case was. Even though you're hunting for your future partner. There was another guy in particular, right, that I was talking to. He claimed that his past relationship didn't work out because he had conflicting values with the girl. So he's like on his walk with faith. He's a Christian and he wants a Christian babe. But whilst we're speaking, he also discovered that I'm Muslim, so we don't share the same faith. But yet you're still trying to pursue things with me. And I was so baffled by it because I was just thinking, isn't that the reason why you said your last relationship didn't work, sir? But he still popped up. And then I decided to delete his him off of Instagram. I said that our values don't align. We never actually met up. And then he was like, but you're extremely attractive. I want to see the vibe. Maybe we might vibe, you know, let's just see. You're extremely attractive. Why do I need to meet up with you, sir, when you clearly told me explicitly that your last relationship didn't work with a girl because she didn't share the same faith as you? Like, what are we doing here? Especially if you're claiming you're looking for your future partner. You get what I'm saying? So this guy in particular, he still had baby mama drama, right? He was still hung up on his ex, clearly. So we actually ended up going out on a date. It started off really well, but it took a turn when we ran into his ex's cousin. And out of nowhere, my man mentions, I know I'm going to get a headache from my baby mum. What? Are you not allowed to date? That was my initial response. Eventually it became obvious that he was still kind of tied up to some kind of drama that wasn't really resolved between him and his ex or baby mum or whatever she was to him. At that point, that was my cue to run. And as much as this was cute, it was fun, it wasn't that serious. I say this to say that it's important to actually know who you really are and what you're actually looking for. You've got to be really firm in your boundaries, especially when it comes to dating. Because if you're not, some guys, girls might actually take advantage of that. Everyone wants to have their cake and eat it too. Luckily for me, because I wasn't really looking for anything serious, I was kind of chill about the whole thing. I can only imagine if I was, how frustrating it would have been. Dating can be a really mixed bag, but I'm glad I tried it out. A few guys have been on Hinge. What has your experience been? Has it been similar to mine? Has anyone actually met their partner, their loved ones on Hinge? Because at this rate, the stories I've heard, I'm not quite convinced.
That blew my mind because she said she was just trying to meet up with guys, wasn't taking nothing serious. That means you should have met with the Muslim guy and seen where it led, right? I don't know. It's ridiculous.
You ever had any awkward first dates?
Absolutely.
Any come to mind?
Yes. A recent one. We met on Hinge and it was like a horrible conversation to begin with, and I still met up with this dude. And so a little bit about him, he's like starting a dating app. So the whole date basically felt like market research just for free. So he was asking me a lot of questions about like my dating experience. What do you look for in a profile? I was like, oh, good pictures. And he's like, but my pictures are I was like, yeah, I know. And he was like, wait, what? And then I was like, yeah. And then at some point he said, my friends have told me I'm a bad texter. And I was like, yeah, you are. And he was like, I'm a bad texter and my photos are so why are we here? And I was like, I just took a shot in the dark. Like I was hoping for the best, basically. I haven't seen him make it.
I don't care what you guys say. This is a subtle sign that he is an asshole and that you should immediately run. This one's petty, but I swear it's true. If you send him a photo of you where you're like looking nice and a nice photo for him and you send it over and he responds with only emojis, no words, or even worse, if no emojis, no words, and he just likes it or loves it, puts a heart on it, that is a sure sign he's a low effort man. He doesn't deserve you. I don't care. I believe it. I stand by this. Every single guy that has done this to me has turned out to be an asshole and not worth my time.
Crazy.
Men genuinely never fail to amaze me. I sometimes know, like, I actually am really concerned for them because do some of them not, like, feel embarrassed, or, like, take any sort of hints ever? Because tell me why. I'm at university. A little bit of backstory. Tuesday, I'm at university, and some guy asked me for a pen. Sure. Take my pen. Like, no problem. He uses my pen. I was a little bit suspicious because he was like literally on the whole other side of the class, and I'm like, you could have asked anyone for a pen. Like, why did he come all the way up to me to ask for a pen? But it's fine. I still give it to him because, you know, I'm super nice and everything, whatever. And then at the end of the class, he gives me the pen back. He's like, thanks. I'm like, yeah, no problem. He's like, so can I have your number? I'm like, I said 4 because, you know, maybe he needs class notes or something. I say 4, and then we were like walking out of the door, and he was like, sorry, sorry. Like, he like went into his bag, and I was like, okay, I don't know what he's doing, but I went home. I left. So then I go back to the same class today, walk into class. I see him there. I'm like, oh no, kind of nervous. I sit on the other side of the class again. He grabs all his stuff. He sits right next to me. I was like, perfect. Love this so much. He starts talking to me. He's basically just asking for my number again. I'm like, no, sorry, like, you can't have my number. He's like, why? I'm like, oh, like, I have a boyfriend. Like, I'm not giving you my number, whatever. He's like, oh, like, well, can we just, like, be friends? Like, can we be friends with benefits? I'm like, no, like, what do you mean, can we be friends with benefits? Like, why? I'm like, so my boyfriend was like, oh, tell him, like, your boyfriend. So I was like, oh, like, my boyfriend, like, he people, like, you can't, like, you're not taking my number, like, people, like, so this guy's like, oh, like, I'm really scared. I'm like, yeah, like, you should be really scared, whatever. Basically, like, he's just being weird as the whole class. Won't stop talking to me. He's looking at my phone.
All right, no, that was good, right? Because if a woman has a man, she rejected him nicely. I thought it was gonna go way left, but it didn't. This is what guys want and need, unless that's just one scenario. We didn't hear about this scenario. Maybe she's a good girl, but we didn't hear about a scenario where maybe that didn't happen, because you never hear the deep dark secrets, right? She liked the guy. He was a Chad. Approached her. He smashed on third period. Yeah, but guys, everybody wants a girl like that, and guys should get one. But as you see here, some men are still talking to women. But guess how? He's kind of young though. I'm talking about grown men. Grown men have given up, and this is why the rejection. I mean, the rejection wasn't that bad. She said she had a man. The guy should have took it with a grain of salt and kept moving. She was nice about it. Great situation, great scenario to be in. But guys are looking for women like that because you want a woman that's gonna reject the guy and that will come home and tell you. You want a woman to come with, oh, this guy tried to talk to me today. That's when you know you got one. When your girl is eager to tell you things. And more guys are trying to find that because they know it's definitely more to life than getting a woman that's not like that. See you next video.